Deadly shooting Saturday night that has the nation watching Portland. Police say a man was shot and killed downtown after a day of protests and counter-protests. Well, there's been a lot of information and misinformation circulating. Police have officially now released the identity of the victim. They say he's 38-year-old Aaron J. Danielson. There is no word yet about who the shooter might be or if this was in any way connected to the rallies from earlier in the day. Now we're hearing from people who knew the victim, and they're now saying they don't want to see any more violence. This as another night of protests unfolds. Fox 12's Audrey WEIL has their message and is live tonight at the demonstrations going on right now. Audrey?
Right, we're in Northwest Portland, just a little bit a ways from where the group is gathering. There's probably a couple hundred protesters in the North Park blocks right now. We imagine that they're probably going to Mayor Wheeler's home, the condo building that they also went to on Friday night. But earlier this evening, we spoke to those friends of Danielson who say that what happened to him was an unnecessary tragedy.
And it's time that this city hears who he was.
In a brief gathering at the Rose Garden Monday evening, those who knew him well say they want to set the record straight on their friend, 39-year-old Aaron J. Danielson, who they called Jay.
We, his friends and his family, have seen multiple false reports calling Jay everything from a radical to a racist and a fascist. Aaron J. Danielson was not a radical, he was not a racist, and he was not a fascist. He was not an inciter or an instigator. He was a freedom-loving American who died expressing his beliefs, a right which is guaranteed to all of us through the Constitution.
The right-wing group Patriot Prayer said Danielson was a member and friend. He was in downtown Portland Saturday night where Trump supporters and counter-protesters clashed. Portland police say officers heard gunfire near Southwest 3rd and Alder just before 9. They say Danielson was shot in the chest and died at the scene.
We believe that the Portland Police Bureau is going to do everything in their power to bring the person who did this to justice, and that's precisely what we want for our friend.
Chandler Papas, who was with him that night, didn't want to talk about the moments surrounding the shooting, but he and other friends made it clear they don't want to see any more violence.
He was a giver. He was a good man. The world is worse off for having lost him, especially the way that we did. He was gunned down in cold blood, and we want justice for Jay, but we also know that Jay would not want to provoke further violence. We're not calling to action for anything other than the justice system to do their jobs.
And those who spoke today asked that the city, state, and country stand together against violence for any reason, that it's not acceptable any longer. As far as what we're seeing out here tonight, you can see that that group is now marching. Again, there seem to be a couple hundred of them. They just turned down the street. I imagine they're heading just a couple blocks over to 9th and Gleason. Again, that's where they were on Friday night. You can see they have that sign that says resign. I imagine that is for the mayor. They have been calling for his resignation. We'll continue to keep you posted tonight on what's happening out here. For now, reporting live in Northwest Portland, Audrey WEIL, Fox 12 Oregon.